Why, hello. Welcome to Hacking the Anthropocene, Speculative Wandering in the Metaverse. You're with Kate and Sarah today, and we are co-leads of SWISP.
So, the term metaverse traces its origin to Neil Stephenson's 1992 science fiction novel Snow Crash, describing a speculative iteration of the internet, a place where users could immerse themselves in an online universe.
What is the metaverse? Well, there's not one agreement on what the metaverse is, even though one company, says Eric Schmidt, has changed its name in anticipation of defining it. Yet Mark Zuckerberg claims the metaverse is not a company thing a company builds, it's the next chapter of the internet overall. We tend to go with the definition that it is a massively scaled and interoperable network of real-time rendered 3D virtual worlds that can be experienced synchronously and persistently. So with this in mind, the focus of this presentation is on reconceptualizing data in the metaverse. We do this because increased digitization asks us to consider how do we re-envisage our approach to both born digital and digitized data? How do we construct dataverses that invite us to view and interact with data through unique lenses? How can we ensure that this new digital heritage is preserved for future generations? And what do these new sites enable?
Our research shifts what we know as educational research. The SWISP Lab Metaverse is aligned with the Advancing Melbourne 2030 strategy, which places a renewed emphasis on the impact of University of Melbourne research and its potential to address and solve the difficult questions and major challenges facing Australia and the world. The university defines research impact as the effect on, change, or benefit to scholarly knowledge and the economy, society, culture, public policy, or services, health, the environment, or quality of life.
Here's an early instance of the SWISP Labs Metaverse, co-designed by artist-in-residence Neda Sajadi in response to the Climate Art and Digital Activism's Festival of Ideas held in November 2022 here at Studio 5. We enter into the Mozilla Hub's geodesic dome, where there are black poster walls for the artworks produced during the festival. The Save Our Home, Safe Schoolhouse is intended for teaching and community meetings and displays key takeaways from the Festival of Ideas. We see the metaverse in part as a socio-technical imaginary, which, defined by Jasanoff and Kim, 2009, are shared visions of desirable and at times undesirable technological futures and possible presents. The metaverse, viewed through these imaginaries, is moulded and shaped by collective societal hopes and fears. By bringing the concept of socio-technical imaginaries into this metaverse, educators like ourselves can envisage an immersive world located in place at the nexus of teaching and research. Now, here we have a later iteration of the metaverse that we've come to know as Hack Swim. So that's hacking the Anthropocene kit, which was the provocation for the work that went into it, and SWIM being speculative wanderings in the metaverse. We like our acronyms. Anyway, this is built in response to SWISP Labs residency in Bengaluru earlier this year.
So I will briefly give you a tour of SWISP Labs' Speculative Wandering in the Metaverse site, a space that I've been contributing toward and collaborating within as artist in residence recently. And so this is the lobby, and this is where you land when first entering SWISP's acknowledgement of country within the Metaverse, within Mozilla Hubs. And so we're greeted by the magpie's warbles and the acknowledgement of country statements. And so if we follow the magpie's calls, we are led into the immersive orb here, a cathedral of trees that's been generated by AI's DALL-E. And we experience DALL-E's perspective of the Birrarung, a river of mists and shadows in Melbourne, Narm. And so the orb is a feature of this residency and becomes a preservation of place as sight and as something familiar and comforting as we navigate the unfamiliar of being a disembodied form through the metaverse. Now we come across here to the magpie maps from David Rumsey's historical map collection. And these are planted or stuck or collected, perhaps by the magpie, to present alternative methods of mapping place and space. As we come up here toward the portal link, we can situate ourselves as avatar, as digital form in the metaverse. So clicking on the portal, we move through the metaverse with the Maggie accompanying us to the Learning with the Land, Hacking the Anthropocene tree stump that protects the portal links for our wandering. And so we are going to wander through to the Archive of the Climate, Art, and Digital Activism site. As we navigate the in-between of these sites, we will head into a more conventional site, a more conventional white cube that houses the artifacts from the festival in 2022. And so as we walk through, we come across another orb, and this time an orb that's preserving a moment from the festival, a discussion that were related to the 2021 protest demonstration outside of Australia's Parliament House in Canberra. And this protest was a direct response to the release of a UN report detailing the climate crisis that Australia faces. And we see here the documentation of the protest, of a pram that's been set on fire and a mother's cry for help and the words duty of care written on Parliament House behind. And so here we can immerse within the orb, and we can also inspect the orb and spin it with our digital hand. And so here on its plinth, it's given weight and value for further consideration and revisitation for future contemplation of activism for the climate crisis. And so as we pass the seemingly solid object of the white cube, we can see that it's starting to collapse on its back, and its porous potential within the metaverse. So as we head towards our final portal, we contemplate that structure of the porous walls. here in the Bengaluru build. And so this site has been framed or bookended here by the sorrow maps from David Rumsey's historical map collection. Sorrow being an emergent theme arising from the Science Gallery carbon mediators in Bengaluru. And the Bengaluru rain tree is here front and center, and its trunk is surrounded and emerging from the colonial remnants of eucalyptus leaves, the introduced eucalypt species that's now banned due to their high water intake and exhaustion of water tables in the area. So it remains here for us to ponder. And as we move around, we can see the activist badges produced by the carbon mediators in Bengaluru as provocative stepping stones should the water that's nearby continue to rise. And we are surrounded by their storytelling, their memories and experiences via their zines that are architectural forms here that give shape and perspective to the wide open metaverse that surrounds it. And so we can hear and see the Bengaluru kite birds hovering above us that also situate our immersive encounter here. And perhaps their circling invites us too to fly with them and experience their perspective of the stories that are unfolding of the climate crisis.
So what's our so what? SWISP's adoption of Mozilla Hubs demonstrates tangible metaversal applications in education. Co-creating and building a virtual research space has allowed us to redefine data exploration. In the Climate, Art and Digital Activism's Festival of Ideas Metaverse, we saw its potential to function as an educational research ecosystem, echoing George Siemens' connectivist learning perspectives, Siemens 2005. Introduced to us by Australian Indigenous philosopher Claire G. Coleman, Futurecasting emphasises speculative forward thinking to understand possible presents and inform our present actions. Ray and Coleman 2021. Situating this concept within the metaverse and aligning it with socio-technical imaginaries, HackSwim exemplifies how virtual spaces can be pivotal in reimagining and reshaping the educational research methods of tomorrow.
The metaverse becomes a site for data creativities and data creation, data curation and data as curatorial practice, data as playmates and data as agentic playthings linking with Psychart's work on playthings, and data as phantasmagoria or transgressive data born out of transgressive play, linking to last century scholarship on play by Brian Sutton Smith.
Within the metaverse, there is the opportunity to transcend traditional creative research boundaries. Here, artists, teachers, and researchers can collaborate in a space where new ways of viewing, hearing, moving, and connecting are possible. Methopedagogies like speculative artography, McDonald et al. 2022, and artographic mediation, Irwin 2003, showcase the expansive possibilities the metaverse offers, creating the conditions for speculative, non-literal, non-linear co-creation of meanings and insights.
I think all these things tie together to democratize research. The metaverse is a site of mediation somersaults. As such, it provides opportunities for collaborative and generative digital scholarship is 2013. By integrating co-design models, educators can promote a democratized approach to research, influenced by the socio-technical imaginaries in everyday publics. Such an approach emphasizes the intrinsic connection between evolving digital structures and infrastructures and the methopedagogies of knowledge creation.
The interplay between the metaverse and socio-technical imaginaries sets the stage for transformative educational research paradigms. By acknowledging and leveraging these intersecting concepts, educators can harness the metaverse's potential to drive innovative, inclusive, and critically engaged pedagogical strategies. Thank you.